Endless Forms Most Beautiful for the Commodore 64 was published in 2019 by a programmer called Ricky B80, with music and sound done by the also cryptically named NM156. The game is available for free on itch.io, and at first glance has more in common with a game like Frantic Freddy than its name suggests. There's more to it though. Reading the title screen to this game, it's clear that it has a bit of history. It's a port of a game with the same name by Dave Hughes, published in 2012 by Stone Chat Productions for the ZX Spectrum. But this is not a direct port. In fact, the C64 port is based on a remake by Loco Malito, also in 2012, of the original game by Dave Hughes. We know Loco Malito from several games like Cursed Castilla, La Baie d'Amour, and Hydora. The plot to Endless Forms Most Beautiful is simple. You play as Mobius or Pucky, and your job is to rescue as many imps as you can, returning them to their natural habitat in, quote, unusual but not so distant places, unquote. Before each level, the new imp is introduced to you so that you know who you are saving. Basically, you run along platforms to pick up these imps. You move off the screen to the left or to the right to reach the level below or above you, respectively. You can also jump straight up or down using different sections of the platform, called transporters. But the levels are never the same. Each new screen has different enemies to prevent you from picking up all of the imps. It gets surprisingly challenging and difficult to keep from making a panic move, easily killing yourself. You can play with either 1 or 2 players, co-op or versus. You get a total of 9 lives, which seems like a lot, but you lose them quickly if you're not lightning fast. You have enemies coming at you from all angles the entire time. Although the level design is simple, the enemies are brilliantly conceived. What is also brilliant is the music. Dissonant tones and seemingly off-key music makes for a weird but attractive atmosphere. Whoever wrote that music tried to think outside the box and succeeded brilliantly. Now for some background. All of this said, nothing in this game seems to explain why it is called Endless Forms Most Beautiful, or EFMB. As it turns out, it refers to a quote by Charles Darwin, in which he expresses his amazement about evolution by natural selection. At the end of this quote, Darwin says, "From so simple a beginning, endless forms most beautiful and most wonderful have been and are being evolved." So, quite a lofty heritage. Nice. I contacted Dave Hughes and asked him about his inspiration for this game in general, and specifically why he chose this name. He explained that the game is somewhat of an evolution, going through several steps with games like Stamp Quest, The Lost Tapes of Albion, and Biscuits in Hell. All games by Dave on the ZX Spectrum. Dave is a geologist with interest in the natural world, evolution by natural selection for instance. He was inspired by the analogy of the blind watchmaker and wanted to write what is called an evolver. An evolver is a computer simulation of the evolutionary process as described by evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins. In his book, Dawkins offers an algorithm for simulating natural selection in a computer program. It is this story that inspired Dave Hughes to write his Evolver. He combined it with his previous games and presto, EFMB was born. It's clear that EFMB borrows its gameplay from Dave's previous titles. I'm afraid I'm unable to discover what is left of the original Evolver program, but what is left is a damn fine game, and I suggest that you give it a go in honor of Dave's achievements. Thank you for watching.